Chapter 5 All Israel have a portion in the world to come, and it is said, And thy people shall be all righteous, they shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. 1. With 10 sayings the world was created. What does this teach us? Could it not have been created with one saying? It is to make known the punishment that will befall the wicked who destroy the world that was created with 10 sayings, as well as the goodly reward that will be bestowed upon the just who preserve the world that was created with 10 sayings. 1. 2. There were 10 generations from Adam to Noah, to make known how long-suffering God is, seeing that all those generations continued provoking him, until he brought upon them the waters of the flood. 2. 3. There were 10 generations from Noah to Abraham, to make known how long-suffering God is, seeing that all those generations continued provoking him, until Abraham, our father, came, and received the reward they should all have earned. 3. 4. With 10 trials our father Abraham was tried. 4. And he stood firm in them all, to make known how great was the love of our father Abraham. 5. 5. 10 miracles were wrought for our fathers in Egypt. 6. And 10 at the sea. 7. 6. 10 plagues did the Holy One, blessed be he, bring upon the Egyptians in Egypt, and 10 at the sea. 8. 7. With 10 temptations did our fathers tempt the Holy One, blessed be he, in the wilderness, as it is said, and they tempted me these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice. 9. 8. 10 miracles were wrought for our fathers in the temple, no woman miscarried from the scent of the holy flesh, the holy flesh never became putrid, no fly. 10. Was seen in the slaughterhouse, no unclean accident ever befell the high priest on the day of atonement, the rain never quenched the fire of the wood pile on the altar. 11. Neither did the wind overcome the column of smoke that arose therefrom. 12. Nor was there ever found any disqualifying defect in the omer, of new barley, offered on the second day of Passover, or in the 2 loaves, the first fruits of the wheat harvest, offered on Pentecost. 13. Or in the showbread. 14. Though the people stood closely pressed together, they found ample space to prostrate themselves. Never did serpent or scorpion injure anyone in Jerusalem, nor did any man ever say to his fellow, The place is too strait for me. 15. To lodge overnight in Jerusalem. 9. 10 things were created on the eve of Sabbath in the twilight. 16. The mouth of the earth. 17. The mouth of the well. 18. The mouth of the ass. 19. The rainbow. 20. The manna. 21. The rod. 22. The shamir. 23. The shape of written characters, the writing, and the tables of stone, some say, the destroying spirits also, and the sepulchre of Moses. 24. And the ram of Abraham our father. 25. And others say, tongs, also, made with tongs. 26. 1. The expression, and God said, occurs 10 times in Genesis I, verses 3, 6, 9, 11, 14, 20, 24, 26, 28, and 29. Many commentators count the opening phrase of this chapter, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, as one of the sayings, maintaining that the idea of saying is implied in it. CFPS 33, 16. According to the rabbis, the wicked destroy and the righteous preserve the world, and, since it required 10 sayings to create the world, the guilt of the sinner and the righteousness of the just are emphasized more than if it had been created merely by one word. 2. The 10 generations are Adam, Seth, Enosh, Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah. The period from Adam to Noah is known as the generation of the flood, Dor HaMabul. 3. These are Shem, Arpachshad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Ru, Serug, Nahor, Terah, and Abraham. Noah's good deeds were sufficient only to save himself and family, while Abraham's were sufficient to sustain the whole world. 4. These trials may be reckoned as follows. 1. His migration, general 12, 12. 2. The famine in Canaan, 12, 10. 3. The seizing of Sarah by Pharaoh, 12, 15. 4. The battle with the 4 kings, 14, 5. His marriage with Hagar because of Sarah's sterility, 16, 2, 6. The circumcision, 17, 10, 7. The seizing of Sarah by Abimelech, king of Gerar, XX, 2, 8. The banishment of Hagar, XXI, 10, 9, the banishment of Ishmael, XXI, 10, and 10, God's command to sacrifice Isaac, XXI, 2. See Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, chapter 24, and Friedlander, G., Rabbinic Philosophy and Ethics, London, 1912, page 75, and 4. 5. For God. Some interpreters explain this, however, as the love of God for Abraham. 6. That they escaped the 10 plagues with which the Egyptians were afflicted. 7. Legend says that at the passage of the Red Sea the 10 miracles wrought were as follows: 1. The waters divided. 2. The waters were like a tent, or a vault. 3. The seabed was dry and hard. 4. But when the Egyptians trod upon it, it became muddy and slimy. 5. The sea was divided into 12 parts, one for each tribe. 6. The waters became as hard as stone. 7. The congealed waters appeared like blocks of building stone. 8. The water was transparent so that the tribes could see one another. 9. Fresh drinking water flowed from the congealed water. 10. After Israel had partaken of the drinking water, it became congealed, and did not wet the ground underfoot. See Ginsburg, Legends of the Jews, 3, page 21 etc. 8. This verse is not found in the Talmudic versions of Aďboť. The plagues at the sea are alluded to in the Song of Moses, X 15. See the commentary of Bartonura. 9, number 14, 22. The 10 are enumerated by Maimonides, Bartonura, Hoffman, and others. 10. The fly is a symbol of impurity. 11. The altar stood in the midst of the roofless temple hall. 12. The straight column of smoke denoted the acceptance of prayer and sacrifice. 13. See Leviticus XCI, 15-17. 14. Every Sabbath, 12 loaves of bread were placed on a table in the sanctuary, before the Lord, Leviticus Civ, 5-9, to serve as a constant reminder to the 12 tribes that their place was before the altar of God. 15. Isa 49:20. 16. Since all things were said to have been created during the first 6 days of creation, and since there is nothing new under the sun, Ecclesiastes. 9. Everything miraculous or supernatural that existed or occurred after creation was explained by the rabbis as having been made or preordained in the twilight at the moment of transition between the end of the work of creation and the beginning of the Sabbath. See Gorfinkel, Ibid, pages 90-91 and n. 1, 17, to swallow Korah and his followers. See number 16, 30. 18, which supplied the Israelites with water during their wandering in the wilderness. See number XXI, 16, and Shabbat, 35a. 19, Balaam's ass. See number XXI, 28. 20, Gu. 9, 19. 21, X 15, 16. 22, of Moses. See Ibid, 4, 17. 23, a miraculous worm that split stones by its look. It was used, according to legend, to engrave the names of the tribes on the jewels of the ephod of the high priest, and was also employed by Solomon in the construction of the temple, in which no tools of iron were used. See Giddon, 68a, and Soda, 48b. Consult P. Castle, Shamir, Ein Archaeol. Beitrag zur Natur und Sagenkund, Erfurt, 1856, and Art. Shamir, in Jewish Encyclopedia. 24, Deuteronomy XXXIV, 6. 25, General XXIA, 13. 26, an allusion to a saying found in Tosefta Erubin, tongs are made with tongs, but how was the first pair made? It could only have been a creation of God. One instrument presupposes another, one thing is the cause of another, but the original cause is God. Cf. Pesachim, 54a. 10. There are 7 marks of an uncultured, and 7 of a wise man. The wise man does not speak before him who is greater than he in wisdom, and does not interrupt the speech of his companion, he is not hasty to answer, he questions according to the subject matter, and answers to the point, he speaks upon the first thing first, and upon the last, regarding that which he has not understood he says, I do not understand it, and he acknowledges the truth. The reverse of all this is to be found in an uncultured man. 11. 7 kinds of punishment come into the world for 7 important transgressions. If some give their tithes, 27, and others do not, a dearth ensues from drought and some suffer hunger while others are full. If they all determine to give no tithes, a dearth ensures from tumult, 28, and drought. If they further resolve not to give the dough cake, 29, an exterminating dearth ensures. Pestilence comes into the world to fulfill those death penalties threatened in the Torah, the execution of which, however, is within the function of a human tribunal, 30, and for the violation of the law regarding the fruits of the 7th year, 31. The sword, 32, comes into the world for the delay of justice, and for the perversion of justice, and on account of the offense of those who interpret the Torah, not according to its true sense, 33. Noxious beasts come into the world for vain swearing, 34, and for the profanation of the divine name, 35. Captivity comes into the world on account of idolatry, immortality, bloodshed, and the neglect of the year of rest for the soil, 31. 12. At 4 periods pestilence grows apace, in the 4th year, in the 7th, at the conclusion of the 7th year, and at the conclusion of the Feast of Tabernacles in each year, in the 4th year, for default of giving the tithe to the poor in the 3rd year, 36, in the 7th year, for default of giving the title to the poor in the 6th year, 37, at the conclusion of the 7th year, for the violation of the law regarding the fruits of the 7th year, 31, and at the conclusion of the Feast of Tabernacles in each year, for robbing the poor of the grants legally assigned to them, 38. 27, see Chapter 1, n. 37. 28, of war, when agriculture is neglected, and crops are destroyed, etc., 29, number 15, 20, he shall offer up a cake of the first of your dough for a heave offering. This commandment is observed in spirit today by the Jewish housewife, who takes a part of bread which is needed, and burns it, after reciting the blessing, Blessed art thou, O Lord, our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us by thy commandments, and commanded us to separate the halakha. The 9th treatise of the order Zeraim of the Mishnah is called halakha. See Friedlander, Jewish Religion, page 357. 30. The execution of which is in the hands of God. 31, that is, the sabbatical year or the year of release, Hashemitah. CXXEI, 10e Seek. And Leviticus XXV, 1-7. It is commanded that the land be allowed to lie fallow during that year, that there be no sowing, nor reaping, nor pruning of the vineyards, and that the servants, strangers, and animals, as well as the owner, shall share in the spontaneous growth of the fields and the vineyards. See also Deuteronomy 15, 1-11, and Tractate Shabbat of the Mishnah. 32, i.e., war. 33, by prohibiting the permissible and permitting the prohibited. 34, cf. Chapter 4, 9. 35, cf. Chapter 4, 5. 36, see Deuteronomy 14, 28, 29, XXVI, 12, and also above, Chapter I, n. 37. 37, of the septennial cycle. The tithe was to be brought at the end of every 3 years. 38, i.e., the gleanings and the forgotten sheaves of the harvest, the single bunches of grapes of the vineyard, and the unreaped corners of the fields which were assigned to the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. 13. There are 4 characters among men: he who says, What is mine and what is thine is thine, his is a neutral character. Some say, this is a character like that of Sodom. 39. He who says, What is mine is thine and what is thine is mine, is a boor. 40. He who says, What is mine is thine and what is thine is thine, is a saint. He who says, What is thine is mine and what is mine, is a wicked man. 14. There are 4 kinds of tempers: he whom it is easy to provoke and easy to pacify, his loss disappears in his gain; he whom it is hard to provoke and hard to pacify, his gain disappears in his loss. He whom it is hard to provoke and easy to pacify is a saint; he whom it is easy to provoke and hard to pacify is a wicked man. 15. There are 4 qualities in disciples: He who quickly understands and quickly forgets, his gain disappears in his loss. He who understands with difficulty and forgets with difficulty, his loss disappears in his gain. He who understands quickly and forgets with difficulty, his is a good portion. He who understands with difficulty and forgets quickly, his is an evil portion. 16. As to almsgiving there are 4 dispositions: he who desires to give, but that others should not give, his eye is evil toward what appertains to others. 41. He who desires that others should give, but will not give himself, his eye is evil against what is his own. He who gives and wishes others to give is a saint. He who will not give and does not wish others to give is a wicked man. 17. There are 4 characters among those who attend the house of study: he who goes and does not practice, 42, secures the reward for going. He who practices, 43, but does not go secures the reward for practicing. He who goes and practices is a saint. He who neither goes nor practices is a wicked man. 18. There are 4 qualities among those that sit before the wise: they are like a sponge, a funnel, a strainer, or a sieve: a sponge, which sucks up everything, 44, a funnel, which lets in at one end and out at the other, a strainer, which lets the wine pass out and retains the dregs, a sieve, which lets out the bran and retains the fine flour. 39. One who neither gives nor takes. One who does no labor of love. Cf. Ezek 16, 49. 40. He does not know the sacredness of the rights of property. 41. He does not want his neighbors to be blessed because of their liberality. 42. The duties of which he has learned. 43. The commands of the Torah. 44. The true and the untrue. 19. Whenever love depends upon some material cause, with the passing away of that cause, the love, too, passes away. 45. But if it be not depending upon such a cause, it will not pass away forever. Which love was that which depended upon a material cause? Such was the love of Ammon and Tamar. 46. And that which depended upon no such cause? Such was the love of David and Jonathan. 47. 45. Lasting love is disinterested love. 46. See 2 Sam. 12. 47. See I Sam. 18. 1. 20. Every controversy that is in the name of heaven, 48, shall in the end lead to a permanent result, but every controversy that is not in the name of heaven shall not lead to a permanent result. Which controversy was that which was in the name of heaven? Such was the controversy of Hillel and Shammai. 49. And that which was not in the name of heaven? Such was the controversy of Korah and all his company. 50. 48, i.e., the controversy to arrive at the truth. 49, see chapter 1, n. 29. 50, see number 15, 1 et seek. 21, whosoever causes the multitude to be righteous, over him sin prevails not, but he who causes the multitude to sin shall not have the means to repent. 51. Moses was righteous and made the multitude righteous. The righteousness of the multitude was laid upon him, as it is said, he executed the justice of the Lord and his judgments with Israel. 52. Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, sinned and caused the multitude to sin. The sin of the multitude was laid upon him, as it is said, for the sins of Jeroboam which he sinned and which he made Israel to sin. 53. 51. He who leads the people astray is punished by being prevented from repenting. This does not mean, however, that man, in general, does not act in accordance with his own free will. Maimonides, in discussing this problem, says, in the 8th chapter of the Shemona Perakim, just as some of man's undertakings, which are ordinarily subject to his own free will, are frustrated by way of punishment, as, for instance, a man's hand being prevented from working so that he can do nothing with it, as was the case of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, or a man's eyes from seeing, as happened to the Sodomites, who had assembled about Lot. Likewise, how does God withhold man's ability to use his own free will in regard to repentance, so that it never occurs to him to repent, and he thus finally perishes in his own wickedness? See edition Gorfinkel, page 94 et seek. 52, Deuteronomy 33, 21. 53, 1 Kings 15, 30. Cf. Sanhedrin X, 2, 3 kings have no portion in the world to come: Jeroboam, Ahab, and Manasseh. 22. Whosoever has these 3 attributes is of the disciples of Abraham, our father, but whosoever has 3 other attributes is of the disciples of Balaam, the wicked. 54. A good eye, 55, a humble mind, and a lowly spirit, are the tokens, of the disciples of Abraham, our father. An evil eye, a haughty mind, and a proud spirit, are the signs, of the disciples of Balaam, the wicked. What is the difference between the disciples of Abraham, our father, and those of Balaam, the wicked? The disciples of Abraham, our father, enjoy this world and inherit the world to come, as it is said, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and may fill all their treasuries. 56. But the disciples of Balaam, the wicked, inherit Gehinnom. 57, and descend into the pit of destruction, as it is said, But thou, O God, wilt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloodthirsty and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. 58. 54, see number 22-24. 55, see chapter 2, note 30. 56, Prov 8, 21, substance, i.e., in the future world, treasures, i.e., in this world. 57, see chapter 1, n. 18. 58, ps. liv. 24. 23, Judah, the son of Tema, said, Be bold as a leopard, swift as an eagle, fleet as a hart, and strong as a lion, to do the will of thy Father who is in heaven. 59. 24, he used to say, 60, at 5 years, the age is reached for the study of the Scripture, at 10:4, the study of the Mishnah. 61, at 13:4, the fulfillment of the commandments. 62, at 15:4, the study of the Talmud. 63, at 18 for marriage, at 20 for seeking a livelihood. 64, at 34, entering into one's full strength. At 40 for understanding, at 50 for counsel, at 60, a man attains old age, at 70 the hoary head, at 80, the gift of special strength. 65, at 90, he bends beneath the weight of years, at 100 he is as if he were already dead and had passed away from the world. 59, cf. Our Father which is in heaven, of the Lord's Prayer, Matt. 6, 9. The conception of God as a Father goes back to earliest times. See General 49, 19, 20, x4, 22, Deuteronomy xxxi, 6, 2 Sam. v. 44, ps. 89, 27, 28, isa. LXII, 16, LXIV, 8, and Mal 2, 10. Deuteronomy xxxi, 6, reads, Is he not thy father, and isa. LXI, 18, Doubtless thou art our father. In the Mishnah we find, Who purifies you? Your Father which is in heaven. Yoma 7, 8, On whom have we to lean? On our Father which is in heaven. Soda, 9, 15, and similar passages. The rabbis constantly referred to God as Father. See Schechter, Aspects, pages 46, 49, 50-51. They took issue, of course, with the New Testament conception of God, in not admitting and in denouncing the idea of a mediator. To them all mankind were the sons of God. That the rabbis borrowed this God idea and the expression, Our Father which is in heaven, from Christianity is untenable, for, as Herford, Pharisaism, 120 Sikh, points out, such borrowing would have been abhorrent to them. This expression was undoubtedly current long before and during the time of Jesus, and it represented a conception of the divine acceptable to both the rabbis and Jesus. The rabbis had no quarrel with Christianity on this score, but did not admit the sonship of God in the Christian sense. The expressions, Our Father, and Our Father which is in heaven, are found frequently in the Jewish prayer book. On this subject, consult Taylor, Sayings, pages 124, 176, and G. Friedlander, The Jewish Sources of the Sermon on the Mount, chapter 10. For a comparison of other parts of abəoҭ with the New Testament see Fiebig, Pirke Aboth, especially the Nachwort, pages 42 to 43, and G. Friedlander, Ibid, Passim. It seems that originally abəoҭ ended here, as in the Mahzor Vitri. The verses which follow were added from other sources. See Bakker, Aďoṭa der Tanaten, I. 378, Taylor, Ibid, page 95, n. 46, page 96, n. 47, Hoffman, Die Erste Miskna, page 30, Edom, abəoҭ, page 358, notes 106 and 108, and Strack, Sprush, page 46, notes T and U, 60. Taylor makes this verse an addendum to chapter 5, and calls it, The Ages of Man, cf. Shakespeare's 7 Ages of Man, see in the Jewish Encyclopedia, Art. Ages of Man in Jewish Literature, the 7, and Schechter, Studies, I, pages 299 to 300. 61. The Mishnah is the oral or unwritten law based on the written law contained in the Pentateuch, see chapter 1, n. 1. The Mishnah, par excellence, is the codification made by Judah Hanasi, see chapter 2, n. 1. It is divided into 6 orders or sections known as Sidarim. They are, 1. Zeraim, seeds, which contains the laws regarding the cultivation of the land and its products, introduced by a treatise concerning prayer and benedictions, Bereshit. 2. Mod, festivals, treating of the laws of the Sabbath and the festivals. 3. Nazim, women, regulations concerning marriage and divorce. 4. Nezikin, injuries, or damages, civil and criminal law. 5. Kodashim, holy things, the laws of sacrifice and of the service of the temple, and 6. Tahorat, purifications, dealing with the clean and the unclean. Each order is subdivided into treatises, maxims, there being in all 63 such subdivisions. The Mishnah is known as the Shas, Shin Samek, which word is formed from the first letters of the word Shirsha Sidarim, 6 orders. The Talmud is also similarly termed. For a discussion of the name, origin, contents, compilation, etc., of the Mishnah, see Mielzner, Introduction to the Talmud, page 4 et seq. Art. Mishnah, in the Jewish Encyclopedia and the authorities cited there, Strack, Einleitung, page 2, 15 et seq. 22 et seq. And Geiger, Judaism and its History, page 239 et seq. 62, at 13, the Jewish boy becomes bar mitzvah, i.e., a son of commandment. The rites and ceremonies connected with the bar mitzvah of today cannot be clearly traced earlier than the 14th century, Abraham's Jewish Life in the Middle Ages, page 32. See Schurer, History, 2, page 53 and n. 38, Schechter, Studies, I, page 306 et seq. And Art. Bar Mitzvah, in Jewish Encyclopedia. 63, lit. Teaching, learning, study. Here, it signifies study for the purpose of elucidating the Mishnah. Some texts read, for the study of the Gemara. The Gemara, from the Aramaic, meaning, learning, completion, is a collection of explanations and discussions on the Mishnah. The word Talmud was afterwards applied to the Mishnah plus the Gemara. There is a translation of the Talmud in English by Rodkinson, but it is free and incomplete in parts. See Mielzner, Introduction to the Talmud, Bakker, Art. Talmud, in Jewish Encyclopedia, Idem, Art. Gemara, in the Hebrew Union College Annual, Cincinnati, 1904, E. Deutsch, What is the Talmud, Darmstädter, the Talmud, Strack, Einleitung in den Talmud, pages 4 to 5, 6 et seq. 99 et seq. 113 et seq. 132 et seq. Schechter, On the Study of the Talmud in Studies, 2, page 102 et seq. Herford, Pharisaism, pages 53 to 54. 64, lit. At 20, to pursue. This has been variously interpreted as follows: 1. For seeking a livelihood, Bartonora, Hoffman, Strack, Singer. 2. For the pursuit of military service, cf. number I. 3, and Deuteronomy Ziv. 5, Mahzor Vitri, page 551. Shakespeare's, Then a Soldier, 3. The age, to pursue him for his deeds, for the celestial Bet Din, tribunal, does not punish at an age less than 20. Bartonora's second explanation, cf. Rashi on number 16, 27, 4. For the pursuit of ideals, Taylor, 5. To pursue the commandments, Siddur Korban Mincha. 65, cf. PS, XC, 10. 25. Ben Bag said, Turn it, 66, and turn it over again, for everything is in it, and contemplate it, and wax grey and old over it, and stir not from it, for thou canst have no better rule than this. 66. The Torah. 26. Ben he said, according to the labor is the reward. 67. 67. The last two verses are ascribed by Aďboť d. Rabbi Natan to Hillel, chapter 12, edition Schechter, page 55. Ben Bag and Ben he were probably proselytes and disciples of Hillel. C. Backer, Ibid, pages 10-12, Taylor and Hoffman, Adlock, and Jewish Encyclopedia, Art. Ben Bag. Rabbi Chenania, the son of Acacia, said, The Holy One, blessed be he, was pleased to make Israel worthy, wherefore he gave them a copious Torah and many commandments, as it is said, It pleased the Lord, for his righteousness' sake, to magnify the Torah and make it honorable. Chapter 6 The Acquisition of the Torah, 1, see Introduction pages 18-19. Refers to the end of the section titled Development of Aďboť. All Israel have a portion in the world to come, and it is said, And thy people shall be all righteous, they shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. The sages taught, the following, in the language of the Mishnah, Blessed be he that made choice of them and their Mishnah. 1. R. Meir, 2, said, Whosoever labors in the Torah for its own sake merits many things, and not only so, but the whole world is indebted to him, he is called friend, beloved, a lover of the all-present, a lover of mankind, it clothes him with meekness and reverence, it fits him to become just, pious, upright, and faithful, it keeps him far from sin, and brings him near to virtue. Through him are enjoyed counsel and sound knowledge, understanding and strength, as it is said, Counsel is mind. And sound knowledge, I am understanding, I have strength. 3. It gives him sovereignty and dominion and discerning judgment, to him the secrets of the Torah are revealed, he is made like a never-failing spring and like a river that flows on with ever-increasing vigor, he becomes modest, long-suffering, and forgiving of insults, and it magnifies and exalts him above all things. 2, Chapter 3, N. 32. 3, Prov 8, 14. Wisdom, representing the Torah, utters these words. 2, R. Joshua, the son of Levi, 4, said, Every day a bat coal, 5, goes forth from Mount Horeb, proclaiming and saying, Woe to mankind for contempt of the Torah, for whoever does not occupy himself in the Torah is said to be under the divine censure, as it is said, As a ring of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman who turneth aside from discretion. 6, and it says, And the tables were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God, graven upon the tables. 7. Read not Charot, 8, but Cherot, 9, for no man is free but he who occupies himself in the learning of Torah. But whosoever labors in the Torah, behold he shall be exalted, as it is said, And from Matanah to Nachaleel, and from Nachaleel to Bamot. 10. 4. R. Joshua lived about the middle of the 3rd century. 5. Bat Kol, lit, daughter of a voice, or daughter voice, a small voice, sound, resonance, not echo, as it is often translated. The expression Bat Kol was used in place of the longer one Bat Kol Min Hashemayim, which is, a heavenly or divine voice which proclaims God's will or judgment, his deeds, and his commandments to individuals or to number of persons, to rulers, countries, and even to whole nations. This celestial voice was a means of divine revelation lower than that of prophecy. According to Schechter, it has two peculiar features. First, its messages are reproductions of verses or sentences from the Old Testament or from the Apocrypha, and secondly, it is audible only to those who are prepared to hear it. C. Weber, Altsinag. Theol, pages 187-189, Low, Gesamelt Schriften, 2, page 58, n. 1, Kiddo's Cyclopedia of Biblical Lit. Art. Bath Kill, and Ludwig Blau, Art. Bat Cole, in Jewish Encyclopedia. 6. Proverbs 11:22. The word, nazaf, nunzayin fe, censured, placed under ban, by a form of rabbinical interpretation known as notarikon, stenographer's method, abbreviation, is connected with the words of this verse in Proverbs, Nizam Zahav Baf, Nun Mem, Sophet, Zewin Hebet Bet Aleph Fey, Sophet, capitals indicating larger case Hebrew letters. Another instance of this kind of interpretation is in connecting the word, anochi, I, the first word of the Decalogue, with the phrase, Ana nafshi katvet yehavit, alef nun aleph nun peshin yad chof tiof bet yad tet yudhe bet yad tet, I, God, myself have written, the Torah, and delivered it, or with the words, Amira naima tiva yehiva, alef mem yad resh he nun yad mem he chof tiof yad bet he yudhe yad bet he, a pleasant saying, written and delivered, Shabbat, 105a. See Art. Notarikon, in the Jewish Encyclopedia, and Strack, Einleitung, page 130. 7. XXXXI, 16. 8. Graven. The phrase, al tikri. ELE, do not read. But, followed by a suggested reading different from the original, does not mean that the rabbis offered an emendation of the biblical text. It was merely a change of the text for homiletical purposes. See Backer, Die Alteste Terminologie der Jüdischen Schriftauslegung, page 175 et seek. Friedlander, Jewish Religion, page 204, and Talmudical Dictionaries, S.V. 9, Freedom. 10. Number XXI, 19 Matana, Gift, Nakalil, the Heritage of God, Bamat, High Places. The names of these three encampments of the Israelites in the wilderness are interpreted according to their literal meanings. 3. He who learns from his companion a single chapter, a single rule, a single verse, a single expression, or even a single letter, ought to pay him honor, for so we find with David, king of Israel, who learned only 2 things from Ahithophel, 11, and yet regarded him as his master, his guide, and familiar friend, as it is said, but it was thou, a man, mine equal, my guide, and my familiar friend, 12. Now, is it not an argument from minor to major, 13, that if David, the king of Israel, who learned only 2 things from Ahithophel, regarded him as his master, guide, and familiar friend, he who learns from his fellow a chapter, rule, verse, expression, or even a single letter, is bound to pay him honor. And honor is nothing but Torah, as it is said, the wise shall inherit honor, 14, and the perfect shall inherit good, 15. And good is nothing but Torah, as it is said, for I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my Torah, 16. 11. Ahithophel deserted David to take up the cause of his rebellious son, Absalom. See 2 Sam. 16, 15, 17, 1 et seek. 12, CPS, LV, 14. The 2 things David learned are hinted at in PS, LV, 15. 13, see chapter 1, N, 17. 14, Perov 3, 35. 15, Ibid. 28, 10. 16, Ibid, 4, 2. 4. This is the way that is becoming for the study of the Torah, a morsel of bread with salt thou must eat, 17, and water by measure thou must drink, 18, thou must sleep upon the ground, and live a life of trouble the while thou dwellest in the Torah. If thou doest thus, happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee, 19, happy shalt thou be, in this world, and, it shall be well with thee, in the world to come, 20. 17, even he who has only bread and salt to eat must busy himself with the study of the Torah. 18, Ezek 4, 11. 19, PS, CXXVA, 2. 20, Cf. chapter 4, 1. 5, seek not greatness for thyself, and court not honor, let thy works exceed thy learning, and crave not after the table of kings, for thy table is greater than theirs, and thy crown is greater than theirs, and thy employer is faithful to pay thee the reward of thy work. 6, the Torah is greater than the priesthood and than royalty, for royalty demands 30 qualifications, 21, the priesthood 24, 22, while the Torah is acquired by 48. And these are they, by audible study, by a listening ear, 23, by distinct pronunciation, by understanding, 24, and discernment of the heart, by awe, reverence, meekness, cheerfulness, 25, by ministering to the sages, by attaching one's self to colleagues, by discussion with disciples, by sedateness, by knowledge of the scripture and of the Mishnah, by moderation in business, in intercourse with the world, in pleasure, in sleep, in conversation, in laughter, by long suffering, by a good heart, by faith in the wise, by resignation under chastisement, by recognizing one's place, rejoicing in one's portion, putting offense to one's words, claiming no merit for oneself, by being beloved, loving the all-present, loving mankind, loving just courses, rectitude, and reproof, by keeping one's self far from honor, not boasting of one's learning, nor delighting in giving decisions, by bearing the yoke with one's fellow, judging him favorably, and leading him to truth and peace, by being composed in one's study, by asking and answering, hearing and adding thereto, by learning with the object of teaching, and by learning with the object of practicing, by making one's master wise, fixing attention upon his discourse, and reporting a thing in the name of who said it. So thou hast learned, whosoever reports a thing in the name of him that said it brings deliverance into the world, as it is said, and Esther told the king in the name of Mordecai, 26. 21, see Sanhedrin 2, 2-5. 22, see Baba, 110b, etc., 23, Singer, combining the first two, reads, by audible study. 24, Taylor omits understanding and 25, Taylor and Hoffman add, by purity, Bidahara. 26, Est 2, 22. 7, Great is the Torah, which gives life to those that practice it in this world and in the world to come, as it is said, for they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh, 27, and it says, it shall be health to thy navel, and marrow to thy bones, 28, and it says, it is a tree of life to them that grasp it, and of them that uphold it every one is rendered happy, 29, and it says, for they shall be a chaplet of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck, 30. And it says, it shall give to thine head a chaplet of grace, a crown of glory it shall deliver to thee, 31, and it says, for by me thy days shall be multiplied, and the years of thy life shall be increased, 32, and it says, length of days is in its right hand, in its left hand are riches and honor, 33, and it says, for length of days, and years of life, and peace shall they add to thee, 34. 27, Pirkei 4, 22. 28, Ibid, 3, 8. 29, Pirkei 3, 18. 30, Ibid, I, 9. 31, Ibid, 4, 9. 32, Pirkei 9, 11. 33, Ibid, 3, 16. 34, Ibid, 3, 2. 8, Ar, Simeon, the son of Judah, in the name of Ar, Simeon, the son of Yohei, said, beauty, strength, riches, honor, wisdom, old age, a hoary head, and children are comely to the righteous and comely to the world, as it is said, the hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness, 35, and it says, the glory of young men is their strength, and the adornment of old men is the hoary head, 36, and it says, a crown unto the wise is their riches, 37, and it says, children's children are the crown of old men, and the adornment of children are their fathers, 38, and it is said, then the moon shall be confounded and the sun ashamed, for the Lord of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his elders shall be glory, 39. Ar, Simeon, the son of Manasseh, said, these 7 qualifications which the sages enumerated as becoming to the righteous were all realized in Rabbi Judah, the prince, 40, and in his sons. 35, Ibid, 16, 31. 36, Ibid, XX, 29. 37, Pirkei 14, 24. 38, Ibid. 17, 6. 39, Isa. 24, 23. 40, see chapter 2, n. 1. 9. Hosea, the son of Kisma, 41, said, I was once walking by the way, when a man met me and saluted me, and I returned the salutation. He said to me, Rabbi, from what place art thou? I said to him, I come from a great city of sages and scribes. He said to me, If thou art willing to dwell with us in our place, I will give thee 1,000 golden dinars and precious stones and pearls. I said to him, Wert thou to give me all the silver and gold and precious stones and pearls in the world, I would not dwell anywhere but in a home of the Torah, and thus it is written in the book of Psalms by the hands of David, king of Israel, The law of thy mouth is better unto me than thousands of gold and silver, 42, and not only so, but in the hour of man's departure neither silver nor gold nor precious stones nor pearls accompany him, but only Torah and good works, as it is said. When thou walkest it shall lead thee, when thou liest down it shall watch over thee, and when thou awakest it shall talk with thee, 43, when thou walkest it shall lead thee, in this world, and, when thou awakest it shall talk with thee, in the world to come. And it says, The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts, 44. 41, he lived about 120 CE, 42, PS, XCX, 72. 43, Pirkei 6, 22. 44, Hag. 2, 8. 10, 5 possessions the Holy One, blessed be he, made especially his own in his world, and these are they, the Torah, heaven and earth, Abraham, Israel, and the house of the sanctuary. Whence know we this of the Torah? Because it is written, The Lord possessed me as the beginning of his way, before his works, from of old, 45. Whence of heaven and earth? Because it is written, Thus saith the Lord, The heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool, what manner of house will ye build unto me? And what manner of place for my rest? 46, and it says, How manifold are thy works, O Lord! In wisdom hast thou made them all, the earth is full of thy possessions, 47. Whence of Abraham? Because it is written, And he blessed him, and said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, 48. Whence of Israel? Because it is written, Till thy people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over which thou hast acquired, 49, and it says, As for the saints that are in the earth, they are the noble ones in whom is all my delight, 50. Whence of the house of the sanctuary? Because it is written, The place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in, the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have prepared, 51, and it says, And he brought them to the border of his sanctuary, to this mountain which his right hand had acquired, 52. 11. Whatsoever the Holy One, blessed be he, created in his world he created but for his glory, as it is said, Everything that is called by my name, it is for my glory I have created it, I have formed it, yea, I have made it, 53, and it says, The Lord shall reign for ever and ever, 54. 45, Pirkei 8, 22. 46, Isa. 66, 1. 47, PS, CIV, 24. 48, General 14, 16. 49, X 15, 16. 50, PS, 16, 3. 51, X 15, 17. 52, PS, LXXVA, 54. 53, ISA. 43, 7. 54, X 15, 18. Rabbi Chananiah, the son of Acacia, said, The Holy One, blessed be he, was pleased to make Israel worthy, wherefore he gave them a copious Torah and many commandments, as it is said, It pleased the Lord, for his righteousness' sake, to magnify the Torah and make it honorable. Underscore 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 transcription notes for any accent marks noted in the following. Assume that the same accent appears with all subsequent occurrences of the word. Introduction die Sprüche der Vater umlaut over the U and the maxims de Perez grave over the last roll circumflex over the O. Footnote 9 Jewish Encyclopedia. In the source, the word Jewish was not italicized. Bibliography, S. The document contained a special character known as section sign, resembling two lowercase s's one above the other. Sprüchen umlaut over Tuesday U and Vater umlaut over the Abitragen umlaut over the Sprüche umlaut over the Atubingen umlaut over the U Abertragen umlaut over the U Ubersetzt umlaut over the U Erklart umlaut over the Maimonides umlaut over the I, in this French title, Introduction a Law. Umlaut over the first a Perez grave accent over the first e firth umlaut over the U umber umlaut over the U fur geschicht umlaut over the U brol umlaut over the U Ursprunglicher umlaut over the second U Jarbucher fur jud umlauts over all three U's Friedlander, M, umlaut over the A, same in chapter 1, notes 4, 10, 11, 13, 18 etc. There is no umlaut in the next entry, Friedlander, G, Sandlichen Bucher umlauts over the A and U Shen circumflex over the I, and wherever this word appears elsewhere in the book, E. G, Introduction, notes 5 and 8. Lobe. Pirke Aboth acute accent over the E in Pirk. For both entries a call acute accent over the first E etudes acute accent over the first E le chapitre your final or is superscript, premier, sure umlaut over the U vortrage umlaut over the chapters 2 through 6, the source text included the following two lines, all Israel, etc., page 29 and Rabbi Chanania, etc., page 38. As the first and last line of each chapter, the page numbers referring to the beginning and ending of chapter 1, rather than reference these two sentences as the source text did, this text version copies the two sentences to their intended locations. The transcriber believes this better captures the flavor of the text. Chapter 3, are Mayor umlaut over the I, wherever this name appears. Footnote 23 Mutual assistance. As agudat achim period and lowercase, as, are as found in the source text. Footnote 45 Chald. Wörterbuch, umlaut over the O. Chapter 4, happy art thou in this world, and in the source text, the comma was a period. Chapter 5, tables of stone are as written in the source text as a translation of the Hebrew, lukhot. Modern readers may better recognize the phrase, tablets of stone. Footnote 23 Archaeol. Umlaut over the second of chapter 6, footnote 5 to individuals or to number of persons, is as written in the source text. Footnote 8 Alteste, umlaut over the adjudication. Umlaut over the U underscore 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 page reference index. This index is included strictly on the off chance that an outside source would reference this text by page number. It lists some page numbers, and the first line that appears on that page. With the use of this index, readers will better be able to find the referenced materials. In the edition used as a source text, the table of contents appears as page 4 on the back of the title page. There were no pages I through 3. The preface started on page 7. There were no pages 1 to 6. Preface. 7 Introduction name. 9 Purpose. 11 Description. 13 Contents. 13 Language. 15 Development of abəoҭ. 16 abəoҭ in liturgy. 19 Bibliography. 21 Chapter 1, 29 Chapter 2. 39 Chapter 3. 51 Chapter 4. 64 Chapter 5, 75 Chapter 6. 91 Hebrew text, appendix. 3 to 30 page, first line of that page 8 Wisdom of the Father, that it may serve as in 10 and in French it is usually rendered chaptrace or 12 line of continuous tradition is plainly seen in the 14b. 1, chapters 1, 16-2, for, sayings of the men of 16 development of abəoҭ, 13, 18 having lived before the destruction of the second 20 all editions of the Mishnah and the Talmud, but 22 Gemara, Talmudical commentary, on the abəoҭ, 24, 2, underscore an appendix to the sayings of the 26-17. Jehuda Leb Gordon, Pirkei Avot, in Siddur Bet 28 Chapter de Pirkei Avot, in underscore Bibliothèque de 30, 6, and the elders to the prophets, and the Prof 32 of the Great Synagogue. He used to say, upon 34 bears of thy household, and engage not in much. 36:12. Hillel and Shammai, 29, received, the tractate, 38:18. Rabban Simeon, the son of Gamaliel, 42:40 against the loss it involves. Consider three things, 42 the day of thy death, 12, judge not thy neighbor, 44 for himself words of Torah has acquired for him, 46 which is the good way to which a man should, 48 the evil inclination, 40, and hatred of his fellow, 50 also before whom thou dwellest, and who thy am, 52:2. R. Chanina, the vice high priest, 5, said, 54 at table and have spoken their words of Torah, it is 56:8. R. Eleazar of Bertoda, 28, said, give unto 58 fanes things sacred, and despises the festivals, and 60 rampart around the Torah, tithes are a safeguard. 62, where there is no Torah, there are no manners. 64 chapter 4 66 virtue is a virtue, and the recompense of a 68 not alone, for none may judge alone save one. 70 home of the Torah. 30, and say not that the Torah. 72 learns as a child, what is it like? Like ink written. 74 not thy imagination give thee hope that the grave. 76 10 generations from Noah to Abraham, to make 78 nor was there ever found any disqualifying defect. 80 and upon the last, regarding that which he. 82 the conclusion of the Feast of Tabernacles in each. 84 love, 2, passes away. 45, but if it be not depend. 86 disciples of Abraham, our father, enjoy this world. 88 at 13:4, the fulfillment of the command. 90:26. Ben he said, according to the labor is. 92 becomes modest, long-suffering, and forgiving of. 94 friend, as it is said, but it was thou, a man, mine. 96 courses, rectitude, and reproof, by keeping one's self. 98 once walking by the way, when a man met me. And 100 for his glory, as it is said, everything that is next appears. Page 30, the end of the Hebrew text. The Hebrew text is numbered from 3 to 30, in right to left format.